guys. Hi. Good evening. And thank you for joining me tonight here in the Mingles of Equal Life. You got me? Oh my God, it's so hot in Puerto Rico right now. I cannot believe this. I had to go and pin up my hair because I couldn't deal with it, okay? So, tonight, how are you guys? I hope you're all doing very well. And tonight I announced I was going to be speaking about what happens at the moment we die. What truly happens? What goes on when we die, okay? And I'm going to begin by saying that if the basis or the fundamental elements of something, of anything, right, is purely founded, the rest will follow in a domino effect, okay? The truth is that I've always said it, have attributed life for centuries now to what does not really give it, okay? To our biology, when it has always been energy together with the fundamental sciences that govern it, like quantum physics and sacred geometry, that the ones that are responsible for granting it, okay? I have to establish that because I've always said, this is one of my quotes, that the atom is alive. He lives because he has kinesis and can never and will never stop vibrating and moving. If it were not so, right, life as we've experienced it would not be possible at all. So we wouldn't be here if the atom didn't vibrate, okay? So I want to establish that because for so many centuries we have attributed life to what does not give it, does not grant it. So science and spirituality have always talked about exactly the same thing, while always being perceived as opposites, right? Because we do see them as opposites and even rivals in many cases, okay? If we have started from false beliefs of what truly gives life or grants life, much less will we understand what death is all about, because we have started with the wrong foot already, okay? This is why there is so much misinformation, ignorance, confusion, and fear about the subject about the subject of death, right? Today, I will talk, and in Spanish we say, in rice and beans, okay? A little more, and I'm going to try to give you a little bit more light, shed more light on this subject, on this uncertain topic that has always tormented the human mind. So what does truly happen then when we die, right? It turns out then that it is the atom that is alive because it vibrates and has movement and cannot stop doing it. This kinesis of the fundamental particles of energy are the ones that by electromagnetism they entangle themselves to others to materialize and form every single microorganism of biology. So if the atom did not vibrate and did not have this intelligence within it, that it knows with what to bond with, the elements of the periodic table would not exist. And therefore, we would not exist either. So the vibration, the electromagnetism that makes that atoms attract to one another and bond with each other to form molecules that then form the elements of the periodic table is life in its best, okay? I want you to be very clear that it's because of this vibration and because the atom is alive and has intelligence within it, that it knows with what to bond to form, for example, a molecule of oxygen. It knows which atoms will bond with each other to bond that element in specifics, right? And so on and so forth with every single one of them. So if it weren't in this way, life as we experience it in the physical form would not be possible. So we've attributed all this time to our biology, and we have parted from not from the fundamental basis where life does begin. Because it's not biology that brings forth life, okay? And it is because of this reason that for us humans, aside from materializing a physical body, okay, this vibration or continuous movement of the atom translates into energy in motion, emotions, sensations, and feelings. Energy in motion are emotions. I've said it before. Because we cannot see atoms, right, through plain sight with our eyesight, and energy and their quantum particles of light, like the photons, the protons, the neutrons, right? We will not be able either to see the soul or our energetic body, because it contains, and write the 7 and 27 zeros behind that, which I don't know even how to say. Okay, 7 and 27 zeros. That's the average amount of atoms there are in a human adult body. Average, okay? So imagine, soul is comprised, is made up of that. Your soul, your spirit. And soul is the one that truly feels and is alive, and the one that activates the physical body with energy or with spirit, so that through it you are able to experience life just as you do, as we have, okay? So, when the physical body dies or ceases to function, the part of us that has always had emotions, feelings, sensations within it separates from the part that in itself and on itself, on its own, doesn't have life. So it separates from it And because this part cannot stop from vibrating, right? Because it's made of atoms that cannot stop from living and moving. It will continue to feel as if nothing had happened. Simply now that without a physical body attached to it and at a much higher intensity and frequency of vibration. Why? You may ask, why that happens? Well, because when transformed from a solid state, in which we are, to a plasma or charged glass state, which is the one that we transform into when the body dies, we go back to being energy. And that energy is in a state of plasma, which is a gas that is charged. Normally, the immense majority of gases are not charged. But because we're alive and we have certain qualities, humans have certain qualities that other inanimate objects, right? Solid objects don't have. Our atoms keep vibrating. And keep feeling. Keep feeling. We keep feeling. Energy cannot be destroyed. So we keep on feeling as if nothing when it separates, okay? The part that feels separates. The thing is that since we are all experiencing life with all our parts together, right, bonded together, attached, we experience it as if it were the body in itself, as if it were the biology of us. But truly, it doesn't work in that way. It is the energy within us. It is our energetic body, the one that feels and has sensations, and the one that has life. And when that separates, the thing is that since it goes from a solid to a gas, it will be free. Those atoms that once were contained, were insulated, are now free in a gaseous state, which makes that particles are much more separated like in a solid. In a solid, molecules are like this, pressed very tightly, bonded very tightly together. That's why it materializes as something solid. That's the difference between solid, liquids, and gases. So when we are in gas state, which is vibration there for a gas, molecules of a gas vibrate to a very, very, very high frequency, fast velocity, okay? And they are free, they're more separate from one another, very separate. So since we keep feeling, this experience will make us feel in a free state, expanded way and manner, okay? And whatever we're feeling, whatever emotions, whatever feelings, sensations are going to be felt to a very extreme high intensity, because now the vibration is so fast, because the atom is free, doesn't have anything stopping it. This accelerating it, I must say, I don't know if that's a word in English, but I just came up with it, okay? So, lowering its vibration, okay? The body insulates and doesn't permit that the atoms vibrate to that vibration. But as we convert or transform into a plasma state, the atoms go into this free state, which are free and can vibrate very, very extremely high. So we are going to experience it, we're going to feel it, like our emotions are going to be extremely powerful, extremely fast, everything in that dimension, right, in that side, everything happens at the same time. There's no time, no space because of this, because the velocity of the vibration is so, so, so fast that there's no time. Okay? So, time there goes very, very fast, not like in here that it's very dense. And we experience it very differently because we are embodied. But that doesn't mean that we're not alive. It just means that we're alive in another state of being, but we're feeling. This is why in the ears, right, explains so many, many times, I don't know if you've heard them, about that they were unaware that they were dead because they see their body, although they say, but who's that? If I'm looking at that and I'm feeling here, because the part that feels separates. So it is indifferent to the body at all when death occurs. And that's why it feels so good, actually, because you are free from whatever ailments or anything that the body was carrying. Now those atoms are free and vibrating to that higher frequency. And then, so death, truly, what we call death, does not exist like a final thing. We never end up living, we just transform. And transformation is a much correct word to use than death. Okay? Let me see how our lives, let me see. I have a question here. Tita, I love learning about energy. It's everything. And learning how it works, me master our own lives. Correct. It is everything. It is the fundamental thing that we are. That is what we truly are. And when we study all this and we understand and we become aware to how it behaves and how it will always behave, and that's why energy cannot be destroyed. That's why death, as we experience it as something final, right? It's not. It doesn't happen in that way. We keep on living. Just we're transformed into another state of being. And we're experiencing to a much higher level, to a much intense level that we did when we were embodied. And since we're vibrating to that high frequency, there we become, and I'm going to talk about this now, right? That is the space. First of talking about that, I'm going to say this is what we have called, that's why we call it home. We go back to home, right? Because it feels so intense, brutally ecstatic. And because it is our most fundamental and natural state of being, is that we call it home. Because actually, you're going to feel, because the feelings are going to be so strong, you're going to feel you're more alive, and that this life was a total lie. That you're more alive when you're in that state of being than when you were incarnated. And this is proven by all the NDEers that talk about this, and they say, I felt free, I felt expanded, I felt that this is not reality, that part is real and this one is not, and it's because of this explanation that I'm giving you right now. What before the brain had to spend so much work to decode, organize, analyze, memorize, and convert into intelligence, the soul in a jiffy turns it into wisdom. Because the velocity in which things happen in that dimension, everything happens at the same time. So you're going to have the knowledge of all the information that are in all the atoms in the universe. You're going to have all that information available to you at the same time. So imagine if that is even possible, right? It is so unfathomable that we cannot even, our brain cannot handle that kind of energy, that kind of level of frequency. So you will know, not because I tell you, okay? You will know because you will feel it in every single atom of your energetic body. You will know. You become wise. And so we never die, my dears. We never die. We only transform. And we can never, ever stop feeling. Ever. Death is a natural process that actually brings us back home to where we truly belong, where everything starts, in our fundamental particles of light. That's where it starts, and their vibration. Okay? And we don't have to wait until we're dead to know it. We just need to learn about energy and treat ourselves in the same way of what we are, right? We're energy, so we treat ourselves as energy. And we start learning about it. And that's the way to get informed and not have any more fear around the topic of death. Because, and above all, coming to knowledge, right? Because we cannot keep on teaching our kids to not understand and keep on believing things that are not true, that are not in the way that we forever have told them to be and have believed them to be. We need to explain them and teach them in the correct way so that they can start also living lives, productive lives, good lives, like we've always wanted to, okay? So, with this, I leave you tonight, hoping that this information has brought a lot of help for all of you, okay? Hoping that you share it with others so that many others can also benefit from it. Sending you, as always, love and light. Please follow us over on our channel, our YouTube channel. And as always, see you next week here in the Mingles of Evo Life, okay? Bye-bye, my loves. See you. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.